Okay, now, 9:41, it's KFYI, and he just walked in the room as we said that we knew it was going to be tight today. Senator John McCain, you just literally flew in.
Yeah, just drove over from Sky Harbor. I'm happy to say that U.S. Air was reasonably on time. Flew in from the city of Satan, yes, indeed.
Yes. Well, welcome. It's great to see you. Look,
Thanks, Barry.
I hardly know where to begin. But
I was just going to say there's so many issues that it's probably more issues of enormous magnitude before this nation than perhaps I've seen in many, many years.
Since they're going to vote today in the House,
yeah,
and the cap and trade, I know you feel that something has to be done somehow.
Something has to be done, but not this.
What will happen in your mind? What's going to happen if this thing passes?
Well, you've got a grab bag of goodies, and for every special interest, every pig with their snout in the trough in Washington, you've got it's 900 or 1,000. Now it's over 1,000 pages long. It's not cap and trade; it's cap and tax. And look, I haven't read a lot of the details of it because it's not in the Senate, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
But everything I've read about it, why do you need a 1,000-page bill? And the negotiations that go on, quote, in the back rooms, you know, nobody smokes anymore, but you got the same rooms. So.
I mean, you know, the handwriting's been on the wall with this. When the president gave the equivalent of the State of the Union message in January, he said he wanted to make wind and solar the affordable kind of energy. And, you know, I never understood why people didn't pick up on it then. What he was saying is I gotta make coal and petroleum more expensive so that solar and wind initially is the least expensive option.
Yeah, and let me just remind you that according to the Department of Energy, if the maximum use of renewable resources, solar could provide 5% of our requirements between now and 2050, wind somewhere between 10 and 15%. So what's left over? Biomass, clean coal, whatever it is. You know what really is what they have failed to address and in any way move forward on is nuclear power.
Why can Iran have a nuclear power plant, and they're sitting on the second biggest pool of oil? Why can they have it? And we can't.
It's amazing. The Secretary of Energy, I'm on the Energy Committee now, has testified that we couldn't have Yucca Mountain. That's Harry Reid. That's the senator from Nevada, as you know, the majority leader. Can't have Yucca Mountain. And by the way, we spent $8 billion of ratepayers' money on Yucca Mountain. Doesn't want to move with that. And then said that reprocessing or recycling of spent nuclear waste is not possible. They do it in England, in France, Japan. I visited a facility in Japan where they reprocess spent nuclear fuel. So how can you have nuclear power if you're not going to do anything with the spent nuclear waste? I mean, and yet the only thing that I know of, honestly, I say this with respect to all technology, but the only thing that can satisfy our energy needs for independence of foreign oil and address greenhouse gas emissions is nuclear power, and this administration won't move on it. The energy bill moving through the Energy Committee in the Senate has, quote, a commission. Barry, you know what a commission does.
Nothing. Nothing's going to happen,
nothing,
right?
Right.
Nothing will happen.
Right.
Since time is limited, let me jump to one other thing here. We still have North Korea jumping up, the dictators jumping up and down saying, look at me, I'm going to destroy you people. Now that's the latest thing. I'm going to wipe America off the planet. I want to ask just your comment on this. Back during the Reagan years, when the President Reagan proposed the Strategic Defense Initiative, we had all kinds of people jumping up and saying, can't work, won't work, it's impossible, the physics aren't there, it's all theoretical, it'll never work. Now we're taking the development of whatever we came up with, anti-missile defenses, and we're putting it around Hawaii with an advanced radar system, and we say we hope if he launches a missile at us, this will knock it out of the sky.
So many things about this issue, too. One, you know, we made an agreement with the Poles and the Czechs on missile defense system in Europe to defend against, in those countries, to defend against Iranian missile launches. Now we're about to give that up for the sake of, quote, negotiations with the Russians, because they're demanding, as they did back when you're talking about, that we can't have defense missile system, which, by the way, Reagan offered to share with them. Interesting. But on the case of North Korea, let me just also mention one other thing. We're going to get tough with North Korea. We're going to be tough with North Korea. You heard that over and over again. Do you know the USS John S. McCain is shadowing a North Korean ship that's headed for a port, guess where? In Myanmar. And the Security Council resolution says you can't board the ship. You can't board the ship, but expect when the ship goes into port that the port authorities will then inspect the ship. And if they don't, guess what? It goes back to the UN Security Council. I'm sure. I mean, it's a joke. It's a charade. Okay, so we've got and testimony before Congress, and well known, the Iranians and North Koreans have worked together on missiles technology and nuclear technology. It is a fact. The Israelis bombed a facility in Syria that was a nuclear facility. Guess who was helping with
that was just last year.
The North Koreans. Yes.
There is I don't know how much you can say about this. And I don't even know if I should ask you the question, but the word is that the United States, our computer and radar systems were so sophisticated that in order to pull off that bombing, we were able to. Syria apparently had the latest Russian anti-missile and radar system and all that. We spoofed it. They didn't even know we were there till the Israelis overflew them.
The Israelis.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good, and the Israelis are pretty good at what they do. And the Israelis are sending message after message that they will not allow a nuclear-armed Iran. And this is a looming problem, and now, tragically, and this could be the subject of all hours, but what's happening in Iran apparently is they've got their militia out, they got their thugs out, I'm talking about the Iranian government, they're killing, beating people, they're throwing them off bridges. And so this regime in Iran, I don't see them changing the course they're on towards developing nuclear weapons. This is a serious, dangerous world we live in, my friend.
On a sidebar, I want to thank you for letting us use your ship to follow that.
Thank you. Named after my father and my grandfather.
Wait. Let me throw a question from the campaign of last year. How many of those ships do you own? Anyway, just joking. Let me pause for a second, and then right after the break, I want to pick up on the national health care. Because yes. ABC has their own little story out today that it blew up in Obama's face. The program the other night blew up in his face. He stuttered and stammered.
The infomercial?
That's what they're saying. ABC is saying that.
My God.
So
I can't believe that. I don't believe that. There must be a mistake
somewhere. Hold on a second. Senator John McCain, and back in a second. KFYI.
The only Phoenix station delivering Fox News. This is the Valley's talk station. News Talk 550 KFYI. KFYI.com.
You want to be a lawyer, engineer, entrepreneur, or biotechnician, but don't know where to begin? Start at Mesa Community College and successfully transfer with confidence. Visit mesacc.edu to learn more and enroll now for summer and fall classes. Mesa Community College. Smart start.
Young, and I know you're watching your money and your investments closely. Well, all investment pros agree that you should own a certain amount of gold, the ultimate and best protection against inflation and economic hard times. At Republic Monetary Exchange, you can buy and own gold, silver, and other precious metals safely and with confidentiality. Call Republic Monetary Exchange now. 602-955-6500. 602-955-6500.
Art that inspires, hands-on science that stimulates the mind, history that brings the region alive, plants and animals from here and around the world. All this and more is available to you and your family for free. Arts and cultural icons like the Herd Museum, Desert Botanical Garden, and Phoenix Zoo have united to provide free admission to library card holders in Phoenix, Glendale, Mesa, Tempe, Chandler, and Scottsdale. So stop what you're doing and get a slice of the action right now. Find out more by visiting theculturalpass.org. Maximize your value at Four Seasons Home Products. We've got incredible savings on beautiful sunrooms, windows, doors, awnings, and much more. Get 33% off direct manufacturer savings. Buy 2 energy-efficient windows and get 1 free, no limit. Plus, receive up to $1,500 tax credit. Visit our showroom for a chance to win a free trip for 2 to Las Vegas, courtesy of Adisha.com, and up to $5,000 off any purchase. Hurry to Four Seasons Home Products on 40th and Chandler right now, or call 1-800-4SEASONS. That's 1-800-368-7732.
you're facing a major illness such as cancer or heart disease, or you're dealing with diabetes, fibromyalgia, arthritis, or other chronic condition, or you just want to feel better, the doctors at Sunridge Medical Wellness Center can help. The highly skilled staff at Sunridge Medical integrate conventional and alternative therapies to create patient-specific treatments that ensure the most comprehensive patient care possible. Call 800-923-7878 today to make an appointment. That's 800-923-7878 and visit online at sunridgemedical.com. Are you looking for work or do you want to supplement your current income? East Valley Institute of Technology offers many programs for adults continuing education. These include massage therapy, licensed practical nurse, surgical tech, and medical terminology. You've got to see our brand new state-of-the-art medical center. Register online today at evit.com. Our class sizes are small and our fees are reasonable. Visit us online today at evit.com.
We're over here.
Oh, thank you.
Wow, that's a lot of books. Let's see. How to keep your child safe. Child-proofing your home. Child-proofing your yard. Child-proofing your in-laws' home and yard. Well, I'm guessing you have a little one at home?
Yeah.
Well, it looks like you must take good care of her.
Oh, thank you.
Now, let's see. Parent's Guide to Safe Toys. That's a really good one. Parent's Guide to Safe Foods. Parent's Guide to Safe Safety Products. Parent's Guide to Parenting Guides. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater and other safety tips.
Of all the things you can read about keeping your child safe, the most important is attached to the back of their car seat. Read the instruction manual and learn to use the latch system. It makes it easier to be sure your child's car seat is installed correctly.
Parent's Guide to Telling Other Parents How to Raise Their Kids.
To learn more, go to safercar.gov. Anchor, Tether, Latch, the next generation of child safety. A message from the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
Check it out, it's the Terminator. Hey, when'd you get back, huh?
Did you have to shoot anyone?
Why are you so distant? Are you not happy to see me?
So what's the deal? You gonna get a job now or what?
Why are you being so jumpy? Put all that stuff behind you, okay?
No one knows what it's like to come back from Iraq or Afghanistan unless they were there. Join other veterans at communityofveterans.org because we know where you're coming from. Brought to you by Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America and the Ad Council.
Committeeman, and what I want to know is when is the Republican leadership in the House and the Senate going to do something dramatic and lead and help the American people see what's happening? For example, why can't we get the House members and the Senate members to just walk out on what the Democrats are doing? They can do whatever they want. They're going to cram this down our throat, this cap and trade, cap and tax bill. You know, we need to wake the American people up, don't you think? And when are some leaders going to emerge in the Republican Party and help this happen?
All right, I don't want to cut you short, but time is short here, Senator.
I'll be brief, Dan. We're fighting every single day. You don't want to leave the arena. You want to stay in it and fight. And I guarantee you, we are using every parliamentary possibility we have. And I have great sympathy for my friends in the House because it's almost under an autocracy now with Speaker Pelosi. We've got leaders out there that are speaking out all the time, and I'm not going to complain about the media, but we had an alternative to the president's budget. We had an alternative to the stimulus package. We had an alternative, and we'll have an alternative health care plan. In fact, we've got a couple right now. We are fighting as hard as we can. There are young voices out there in the Republican Party like Tim Pawlenty and Bobby Jindal and Sarah Palin and Eric Cantor, and we've got some great young senators like John Thune of South Dakota and some others. And look, we're in a tough fight. We're in a knife fight right now, but we're doing everything that we can for stand up for the American people. But I also want to remind you, elections have consequences.
We started this by saying there's so much that.
And thanks, Dan, for being a precinct committeeman. Anybody listening, please sign up. We need.
Try to get everybody's arms around right now. It's hard to know if we have you in the studio, even if you could be here all day, where to begin with questions. We've got the president apparently firing an inspector general.
Oh yeah.
That's a mess. We don't really have time to get into that. But I will ask you this: if the press really seems to be taking on an antagonistic relationship,
I'd have to see it more than once before I believe it. I've never seen anything like this in my years in Washington.
But it can't last forever. I mean, the romance, the honeymoon can't last.
I'm not complaining, but they have an investment in this president because of the role they played in getting him there. So don't anticipate, frankly, I mean, Newsweek, which is now Obama Week, has had 19 covers of President Biden. The list goes on and on. But I do want to mention one thing with you very quickly, because it's going to be the issue when we get back, and that is this national health care issue. They don't know how to pay for it. The Congressional Budget Office came up with even this got into the media pretty big. The proposal that we are before the Health Committee, which I am on, would take care of 1/3 of the uninsured in America and will cost $1 trillion. You do the math on that, Barry. If you want to insure everybody who's uninsured, that's $3 trillion. And of course, a government-run healthcare system, the quote government option, which would eventually crowd out the private insurers in America. This is a huge thing. We're talking about 1/5 of the gross domestic product in the United States of America, and I am very worried that they pick off a couple of 3 Republicans and then call it bipartisan. And I think, look, go to Canada, go to England. You and I have had this discussion for years. Government health care ends up in rationing of health care and does not bring costs under control.
There's a story out today, Washington Post, ABC. If they poll people and explain to people in the polling how this can kill private insurers, that then those who support the national health care plan,
because the American people are satisfied with their own health insurance plan. The problem with health America today is not the quality, it's the cost. And go about getting cost under control and preserving quality. And by the way, that to me means you can go across state lines, get the health insurance policy of your choice, give every family in America a $5,000 refundable tax credit so they can go out and get the health insurance that they for their families. And there's a lot of other things we can do. But to have a government takeover, which this will eventually lead to, I think would be disastrous for America.
Listen, keep plugging away.
Thanks,
you,
Barry, and
thanks.
I'll be back again soon.
All right,
Thanks
for getting over here from the airport. I appreciate it. Senator John McCain, we're out of time for the week.